Alright guys, today I'm going to run the mission, security mission, level 4, the Mordus Headhunters. This is EvE Online. And I'll be running this in my macreel. So, not the most exciting thing in the world, but I don't know, some people that may play EvE Online watching this might want to know how it's done.
Warp drive active.
Alright, this is the acceleration gate, bringing me to
Warp drive active.
Mordus Headhunters, and I'll show you guys how I run this mission. And if you're not into playing EvE, I guess you can just watch it for cool effects. So, the key to this mission in this first room here is when you first get in here, you got to deal with this group that's right here next to you. And do not deploy drones. If you deploy drones, it'll draw aggro from the group in the far distance. And of course, I always take out the cruiser class ships first and then do the battleships last. Now, after you get this first group cleared out, you want to kill all the frigs off in the distance because they'll web you and scram you and you'll get overwhelmed with DPS. So And then as I pop all the frigs, I start locking up the cruiser. And you could deploy drones now if you wanted to, but I still don't because they almost instantly switch aggro to the drones. And about this time, I'll bring my alt in and have him I don't know what's going with the sunlight effects today, man. I've never... Oh, he's in a mist, I think. Yeah, that's what... Okay, once I jump into the last room, there's only 2 rooms in the Mordus Headhunters. I'll show you what I do there. Alright, so here we are in the second room. And as you warp in, you'll see that you're right next to a bunch of frigs. So that's your first order of business, taking those frigates out. They all web and scram, so what I do is I set myself to just go in the opposite direction of the whole group. And then start locking them up as a whole. But you want to get all these frigs right here before you start shooting at any of these other ships. So I go in the opposite direction. And then at about 25k or so, I'll start shooting them. But that's only because I can one-shot them. If you can't one-shot frigates, you might want to get a little further away. Now there's 2 ways you can go about this after you kill off those frigs in the first group. I usually kill all the frigs in the whole room, and that does two things. I don't have to worry about them scramming me or webbing me or any of that stuff. But it draws aggro from every ship in here. So there's two ways to go about it. Kill all the frigs at once, and then get the whole room to start approaching you. Or just kill the groups that are closest to you, and then only start taking on the frigates as they start lighting you up. And in this case, I'm just going to aggro everything, just so it's a little bit more interesting to watch, I guess. Alright, so while I'm waiting to get in range of those frigs way off in the distance, I'll start popping off some of these cruisers here. And this room's another situation where if I deploy drones, they're almost instantly going to get aggro, but I generally wait till I have mostly just battleships left, and then I'll deploy drones. And the most important thing is to keep moving. You never want to sit still. That goes for any mission, really, but you always want your ship moving. You always take less damage when you're moving than when you're sitting still. You can see how the majority of the shots are missing me. Now, if I was just sitting still, watch, I'll show you. So I'm going full speed, just going downward, and you can see what damage I'm taking on. Now watch what happens when I stop my ship. Watch how fast the damage will incur. Alright, see now that I'm coming to a full stop. See how many more shots are hitting me? See my shield's just cranking. That's why you always want to be moving when you're in a mission. Okay, so now that I get I think the rest of the figs are all in range, I'm going to start shooting at them again. Because one thing you don't want now is to have all those frigs out there start webbing you and scramming you with all these ships shooting at you. Alright, let me see. So that's the last of the frigs, and then after I get all my frigs finished off, then I'll get all the cruisers taken out. And that's the last of the frigates, so now it's all cruisers and then battleships. Another thing you want to be careful is you don't want to get tangled up in these structures here, which I'm about to do. And now I'm bouncing against it. I just lost all my speed, so you don't want to be real careful of these. I generally don't even get this close to them. I usually just stay over in this area and let them all approach me. But of course I'm trying to make it a little bit more cinematic for the video, so I'm not paying as much attention. So about this time, I only got a couple cruisers left. I'll take out my drones, and I'll get them going on the closest battleship.
A module has run out of charges. Warp drive active.
And that's it. That's the Mordus Headhunters level 4 security mission. It's one of the biggest, it's probably one of the top 5 biggest level 4 missions in the game. And I'll come back in a little later and scoop up that tractor unit and get all the loot and melt it down and make a little money. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it might be a little boring to some people, but for people that like space games and this type of stuff, EvE definitely has some pretty amazing graphics and effects.
Warp drive active.
Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next vid.